जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल।
Very warm welcome to all our viewers. You're watching Top at Noon. I am Ronak, and we start the bulletin with the big story from Manipur. Manipur DIG Ningshen Wongam, who arrived in the border town of Moreh, held a security meeting with the CSOs at the inspection bungalow of Moreh Police. The meeting was held in the backdrop of the violent protests which broke out in the border town yesterday. DIG Wongam during the meeting said that the Manipur government is in constant touch with the Ministry of External Affairs, which has already communicated with the embassy at Yangon. The embassy, on its part, had reportedly informed the district administration of Tamu in Myanmar to return the mortal remains. However, there has been no response from the district administration so far. And this was informed exclusively to your channel Northeast Live by the Vice President of Tamil Sangam, A. Kamal Nath. An assurance has also been given to bring back the mortal remains of the two deceased Tamil youth soon.
It has been discussed here at this DIG, under the DIG. It was discussed that the government of Manipur is taking level based through the high level, and the Minister of External Affairs will go and they are discussing from there to solve this problem as early as possible. And they also assure us that the dead body will be handed over to the concerned family. So this was discussed in the meeting.
Notably, it has been 3 days today since two Tamil youth were shot dead in Tamu by a militia group formed by the Myanmarese army when they had apparently crossed the border. And following this, massive protests broke out in Moreh on Wednesday, with people demanding the handing over of the bodies of the two Tamil youth. Angry protesters had gathered near the border, resorting to arson. Protesters gathered near Border Pillar 76 near Sunrise Ground in Moreh to stage a massive demonstration and also resorted to stone pelting and arson. In the wake of the situation, the Tengnopal District Administration has imposed Section 144 in Moreh town, besides issuing an advisory to residents of Moreh and all visitors to the area not to venture into the Myanmar side without proper documents and permits from the concerned authorities. And besides, tight security has been deployed at the India-Myanmar border to ensure there is no further escalation of the situation. On to the big story related to the Naga peace talks. A crucial meeting of the core committee on the Naga political issue is currently being held in Kohima. The crucial meeting is being attended by all core committee members except for NPF's Kuzoluzo Nenu, who is currently in New Delhi. This is the first meeting of the core committee headed by Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio after the fresh deadlock in talks following the resolution on the 31st of May adopted by the NSC and IM Emergency National Assembly that there can be no solution unless the government of India agrees to its demand for separate flag and constitution. And earlier, highly placed sources within the core committee told Northeast Live that today's meeting is extremely crucial as it aims to chalk out the next course of action on how to facilitate the resumption of talks between the NSCNIM and the Government of India. It may be mentioned here that the priority for the Government of India, as well as the core committee at the moment, is to ensure the resumption of talks at the earliest. So yes, viewers, the big development as far as the Naga peace talks are concerned, a crucial meeting of the core committee is currently underway in Nagaland capital Kohima. The meeting, of course, is being attended by all core committee members except for the NPF's Kuzoluzo Nenu, who is currently in New Delhi. And of course, this is the first meeting of the core committee headed by Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio after the fresh deadlock in talks following the May 31st resolution, which was adopted by the NSCN-IM Emergency National Assembly, that there can be no solution unless the government of India agrees to its demand for separate flag and constitution. Highly placed sources within the core committee told Northeast Live that this meeting is extremely crucial as it aims to chalk out the next course of action on how to facilitate resumption of talks between the NSCN-IM and the government of India. All right, shifting focus now. A new angle to the recent devastating floods in Silchar in Assam has come to the fore, with a section of the media, including news channels, web portals, and social media, trying to give a new connotation to the calamity. The recent incident of devastating floods in Silchar have caused as a result of the breach at the Betukhandi dike has now even been termed by a section of the media and in various social media platforms as flood jihad. Dismissing such claims, Kachar SP Ramandeep Kaur said that a section of the media encompassing platforms have attempted to give a communal angle to this dike damage incident. On the basis of an FIR lodged into the matter by the Irrigation Department, SP Ramandeep Kaur said that so far 4 persons have been apprehended for damaging public property and that further investigation is also underway to nab anyone else involved. The Kachar SP, while stating that the cyber cell is keeping a close watch on the social media handles, warned not to spread communal hatred on the incident.
पिछले महीने 19th ऑफ जून से जो बारिश शुरू हुआ जिसके कारण पूरा सिलचर शहर में पानी हुआ, उसमें इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट से कुछ दिन पहले हमारे पास एक कंप्लेंट आई थी जिसमें उन्होंने लिखा था कि वहाँ का जो बांध है वो टूट गया है। दे ऑल्सो डिड नॉट नो कि वो बांध कैसे टूटा है, सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट उन्होंने हमको इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के लिए दिया। हमारी प्रिलिमिनरी इंक्वायरी में जब हमको पता चला कि इसमें कुछ लोग हैं जिन्होंने इसको बांध को तोड़ा है, तो उस इन्वेस्टिगेशन के ऊपर फाइनली हमने अभी तक 4 लोगों को एप्रीहेंड किया है। हमारे नोटिस में कुछ सोशल मीडिया पे, कुछ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स पे, कुछ वेब पोर्टल्स पे और कुछ न्यूज़ चैनल्स पे भी सम ऑफ द लोकल एंड सम नेशनल चैनल्स पे भी कुछ इस तरह का न्यूज़ सामने आ रहा है जिसमें इसको अलग-अलग नाम दिए जा रहे हैं, जिसमें इसको अलग-अलग कॉनोटेशन दिया जा रहा है। तो उसमें मेरी तरफ से एक ही बात क्लियर है कि इसमें किसी भी तरह का कोई कम्युनल एंगल नहीं है। जिस तरह से इसको प्रोजेक्ट किया जा रहा है, सो मेरी अपील है टू द वेरियस सोशल मीडियाज़, टू द वेरियस चैनल्स कि काइंडली बिना फैक्ट्स के, बिना एविडेंस के रूमर्स को मत फैलाइएगा। कुछ लोग जो पीड़ित थे, उन्होंने उस बांध को तोड़ा है, उन्होंने किस कारण से गवर्नमेंट प्रॉपर्टी का डिस्ट्रक्शन किया है, उनके ऊपर उसी उचित सेक्शन के आधार पे उन पे कार्रवाई होगी और उसी हिसाब से उनके ऊपर जो भी एज़ पर द एक्जिस्टिंग लॉ ऑफ द कंट्री जो भी पनिशमेंट होगी उनको उस हिसाब से मिलेगा। बट उसको अननेसेसरीली प्रोजेक्ट करके देयर आर वेरियस वर्ड्स व्हिच आर कमिंग अप लाइक फ्लड जिहाद, दिस इज़ अ वर्ड व्हिच वी हैव नेवर हर्ड। So please do not get into these things.
And meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma also dismissed rumors of linking the damage of the dike in Betukhandi with so-called flood jihad.
सिलचर में जो डाइक सैबोटेज हुआ था उसमें नाम अरेस्ट भी हुआ है, तो उसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन भी चल रहा है। कुछ टेरर लिंक का भी एलिगेशन है।
वो टेरर वाला लिंक नहीं है, वो कोई लोग बहुत ज्यादा स्मार्ट है और स्मार्टनेस का कारण हुआ था। तो अभी हम लोग इसको सिखा रहा हूँ कि ज्यादा स्मार्ट मत बनो।
सोशल मीडिया पर ये भी कहा रहा है कि सिर्फ फ्लड जिहाद
नहीं, देखिए मैं ये सब हर बात में ये सबका व्यवहार करना ठीक नहीं है। अपना गांव में वाटर लॉगिंग हो गया था और वो वाटर लॉगिंग निकालने से बाहर होने का कारण वो लोग छोटा दिमाग का व्यवहार करते हुए एम्बैंकमेंट को काट दिया था। ये कोई बहुत बड़ा कॉन्स्पिरेसी नहीं है, वो लोकल लेवल का कोई जो छोटा दिमाग वाला काम है, तो उनका दिमाग बड़ा करने का व्यवस्था हम लोग कर लिया हूँ, ठीक हो जाएगा। लेकिन उनको देहात से इन्वॉल्व करना जरूरी नहीं है, और वो नहीं है। मैं खुद वो जगह से आया हूँ।
And on to another big focus from Assam, the flood scenario in the state. Well, the scenario continues to remain serious in certain places, even though the overall situation has improved. With 20 districts still reeling under floods, over 96,000 people are currently affected. Meanwhile, a total of 266 relief camps are still operational in the state. While several areas are reeling under heavy floods, there are many other places that are dealing with the aftermath of the floods as people deal with damaged houses, damage to properties, and even flood-ravaged farmlands. With rainfall going down in several places in the state, the flood scenario has also gradually improved. However, the fluctuating situation of rainfall still continues to worry as many rivers continue to flow in spate. And even as search and rescue operations continue at the site of the devastating landslide at Tupul in Manipur, so far 10 bodies have arrived in Assam. And today, early morning, the mortal remains of Ramu Phukon reached his native village in Morigaon district. The body reached at 4 a.m. in the morning at the Khura Gosaibori village, where it was received by his bereaved family. Later in the morning, the deceased's last rites were performed. Meanwhile, 6 persons hailing from the village are still missing in the landslide site at Tupul.
আপোনালোকে জানে ৰাতিপুৱা মানুহে সদায় ভগৱানৰ চিন্তা কৰে, হয় নে নহয়? আমি আজি ৰাতিপুৱা দেখিলোঁ মানে এম্বুলেঞ্চৰ মাত শুনিছোঁ, মনত দুখ লাগিছে, কিয়নো আমাৰ একেখন গাঁৱৰ আজি 11জন ব্যক্তি নিহত, তাৰ 10জন নিহত, তাৰ ধৰ বাকী 6জনৰ বৰ্তমান ডেড বডি জ্বলোৱা হৈছে, আৰু এজন আজি লাষ্টত আহিছে ধৰ ৰামু ফুকন। আমি ৰাতিপুৱা উঠি মানুহৰ সদায় ভগৱানৰ প্ৰতি হাঁহি আহে, কিন্তু আজি দুখ লাগিছে ৰাতিপুৱা উঠি আমি এম্বুলেঞ্চত আহি কেৱল এই 108ৰ মাত শুনিছোঁ যে আমি গম পাইছোঁ যে গাঁৱত আজি শোকাপুল আজি 8 দিন ভৰি দিলে, 8 দিনত ৰাইজে মানে বহুত দুখত আছে। যাৰ পৰিয়াল মৰিছে সি গম পাইছে, সকলোৱে জানে ধৰ আজি আমাৰ একেটা পৰিয়ালে আমাৰ তেখেতসকলে যিটো নৈমিত্তিক কাৰ্য ৰাতিপুৱা কৰিব সেইটো পৰা নাই, সদায় আমি মৃতদেহ দেখা পাইছোঁ, তাতকৈ দুখৰ বিষয় নাই।
গাঁওখনৰ মানুহবোৰ কি হ'ব, গাঁওখনৰ মানুহবোৰ সদায় দুখতে আছে। সদায় যদি এটা যদি লাছ আহিবলগীয়া হয়, গাঁওখনৰ পৰিৱেশটো কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ হয় আপুনি সকলোৱে গম পায়। সৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালীবিলাকে এতিয়া যথেষ্ট ভয় খায়, ৰাতি ওলাবলৈ ভয় খায়, ইদিকি সিদিকি ফুৰিবলৈ ভয় খাই আছে। গাঁওখনৰ সমস্যাটো এনেকুৱা হৈ গৈছে যে গাঁওখনত কোনো মানুহে নাইকিয়া হৈ যোৱা যেন লাগিছে।
On to another big story now. NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu will be holding a meeting with ministers and MLAs of the BJP-led alliance in Assam today. The meeting is scheduled to take place at Hotel Taj Vivanta at 6 p.m. in Guwahati. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, State BJP President Bhabesh Kolita, and a host of other ministers and MLAs of the alliance will be present at the meeting. And staying with Assam, a total of 2,751 employees of the Nagaon and Kachar paper mills will be receiving financial assistance today. A formal ceremony will be held at 2 p.m. today at the Srimanta Shankardev Kalakshetra in Guwahati, where Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma will be giving out financial assistance worth rupees 810 crore to lakh rupees. The beneficiaries will also avail of government pension. And meanwhile, a total of 84 employees will be transferred to various other departments based on their qualifications and capabilities. The Nagaon paper mill has been shut since 2017, while the Kachar paper mill has been shut since 2015. More than 100 employees of these two mills have died ever since the shutdown. Meanwhile, more than 700 employees from the Nagaon paper mill are en route to Guwahati to attend today's event in Guwahati.
দীর্ঘদিনীয়া আমাৰ যি সমস্যা সমাধান কৰাৰ একমাত্ৰ কাণ্ডাৰী হ'ল আমাৰ মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা ছাৰ। তেখেত নহ'লে এই সম্পাদন কেতিয়াও সম্ভৱ নহ'লেহেঁতেন। আৰু 5 বছৰ আমি যি দুখ যন্ত্ৰণা পালোঁ সেই দুখ যন্ত্ৰণা নিৰসন কৰিলে ছাৰে গতিকে আমি গোটেই কাগজ কলবাসী HPCৰ এণ্টায়াৰ HPC চেণ্ট্ৰেল হেড কোৱাৰ্টাৰ কলকাতাৰ পৰা আদি কৰি কাছাৰৰ পৰা আদি কৰি সমূহ শ্ৰমিক কৰ্মচাৰী নগাঁও পেপাৰ মিলবাসী আমি সকলোৱে তেখেতৰ ওচৰত চিৰকৃতজ্ঞ আৰু চিৰ নমস্য তেখেতে যিখিনি কাম কৰি আছে অসমৰ হৈ আমি ঈশ্বৰৰ ওচৰত প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিছোঁ যে দীৰ্ঘজীৱী হওক আৰু এনেকৈ কাম কৰি যাওক
মই এই ইমান দিনীয়া মোৰ মূৰত যে আমি যে কিবা এটা সফল হ'ব পাৰিছোঁ তাৰ কাৰণে মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীক ধন্যবাদ জনাইছোঁ যিটো ৰিলিফ পেকেজ আমাক দিছে SPC এক্স এমপ্লয়ী বা এমপ্লয়ীখিনিক দিছে তাৰ কাৰণে মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীলৈ আমাৰ ধন্যবাদ
বিশেষ ধন্যবাদ দিব লাগিব আজি অসমৰ মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডক্টৰ হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মাদেৱলৈ যি পদক্ষেপ লৈ আজি আমাৰ যি দীৰ্ঘদিন এটা সমস্যা দূৰ কৰিব বিচাৰিছে আজি তেখেতৰ মতে আমি যিখিনি পাইছোঁ 2751 জন কৰ্মচাৰীক আজি ৰিলিফ পেকেজ দিব তাৰে 84 জন নিয়োগযোগ্য অনুসাৰে কৰ্মচাৰীক অসম চৰকাৰে প্ৰদান কৰিব সেইখিনি আমি পাই আমি নথৈ আনন্দিত পাইছোঁ
বহুত দিনৰ মূৰতে চৰকাৰে অসম চৰকাৰে নিজে দায়িত্ব লৈছে যেতিয়া দিম বুলি ভালেই লাগিছে তেতিয়া গোটেই পইচাখিনি যেনে হিচাপে কৈছে তেনে হিচাপে পালে আমাৰ আৰু ভাল লাগিব এইটো
And in a big news coming in, a couple from Meghalaya has been assaulted in Dudhnoi of Gwalpara district of Assam. That's right, viewers. Indeed, a big story. A couple hailing from Meghalaya's Doinadubi has been assaulted by police personnel from Dudhnoi police station. In this connection, 2 Assam police personnel have been suspended on allegations of assaulting the couple. So indeed, a big development. Gwalpara Superintendent of Police has suspended a sub-inspector and a female constable over allegations of assaulting the couple. As per information, Sub-Inspector Bishnu Bahadur Niwar and Constable Mamta Joshi were involved in assaulting the couple hailing from Meghalaya's Doinadubi. Taking cognizance of the matter, the Gwalpara SP has now placed both the sub-inspector and the constable on suspension. Yes, a big development coming in at this point in time, viewers. A big news. A couple from Meghalaya has been assaulted in Dudhnoi in Gwalpara district of Assam. A couple hailing from Meghalaya's Doinadubi has been assaulted by police personnel from Dudhnoi police station. In this connection, 2 Assam police personnel have now been suspended on allegations of assaulting the couple. Gwalpara Superintendent of Police has suspended a sub-inspector and a female constable over the allegations. As per information, Sub-Inspector Bishnu Bahadur Niwar and Constable Mamta Joshi were involved in assaulting the couple hailing from Meghalaya's Doinadubi. Taking cognizance of the matter, the Gwalpara SP has placed both the sub-inspector and the constable on suspension. On to the big national focus now. Tension prevails in the Kerur town in Badami Taluk of Karnataka's Bagalkot district after 4 persons were injured in a communal clash which broke out on Wednesday night. At least 10 push carts and 5 vehicles were torched by angry mobs in Kerur town on Wednesday night. And in the clash which broke out, 4 persons were injured who were later rushed to the hospital. The local administration has clamped prohibitory orders under CRPC 144 from Wednesday night till Friday night, during which all schools and colleges in the town will remain closed. So far, the police have taken as many as 5 persons into custody. As per an official release from the Tehsildar office, a verbal argument between 2 individuals identified as Arun Katimani and Yashin Pandari soon turned into an incident of communal violence. While the police maintain that a street harassment incident involving a woman led to the clash, some others argue that the fight was over a social media post by a woman doctor. The doctor allegedly posted a message opposing former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's statement against the prophet, questioning the inaction against her. And this allegedly angered members of a right-wing group who went to the local police seeking the arrest of the doctor, who refused to register an FIR into the incident. Arun Katimani was part of the group that tried to file a complaint against the doctor. Another group took objection to this and questioned Arun as to why he went to the police, and this ultimately led to the clash. And on to another big international story. Trinamool Congress MP Mohua Moitra has been booked a day after she sparked controversy with her shocking remarks on Goddess Kali. The Madhya Pradesh police has registered a case on Moitra for quote-unquote hurting religious sentiments. Besides, several police complaints were also filed against Moitra by the BJP supporters in West Bengal. The TMC, on the other hand, also said that it does not approve of her comments and it is for her to deal with police action. Moitra, on her part, said that she was not afraid of anything or anyone. And it may be mentioned here that the Kolkata BJP Mahila Morcha staged a protest against Moitra's remarks, demanding immediate arrest of the MP over her remarks on the documentary movie Kali, which has been embroiled in controversy over its shocking depiction of the goddess. And meanwhile, we have reactions from political leaders on the development. Let's listen in.
देखिए, जिस प्रकार का बयान महुआ मित्रा का आया है मां काली को लेकर, ये करोड़ों श्रद्धालुओं की भावनाओं को आहत करने वाला बयान है। पर दुख की बात यह है कि टीएमसी ने केवल हुस्न अफरोजी के लिए, केवल कॉस्मेटिकली उन्होंने उनके खिलाफ ट्वीट कर दिया है कि हम इससे इत्तेफाक नहीं रखते। परंतु सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि यदि टीएमसी की सरकार सही मायनों में ये मानती है कि आपत्तिजनक बयान है, तो अभी तक उनके खिलाफ एफआईआर दर्ज करवा कर लुकआउट नोटिस क्यों नहीं दिया गया है और अभी तक उनके ऊपर पार्टी के स्तर पर कोई कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं की गई है। इसका मतलब टीएमसी का महुआ मित्रा के लिए अभी भी ममता जारी है और इसीलिए वो केवल ट्वीट करके अपने आप को पल्ला झाड़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, परंतु अभी तक कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की है। दूसरे मामलों में तो 3-3, 4-4 लुकआउट नोटिस, 3-3, 4-4 एफआईआर पुलिस की टीम अलग अलग प्रदेशों में चली जाती है। तो आज महुआ मित्रा पे कानूनी रूप से और पार्टी की रूप से क्या कार्रवाई होगी, इसको क्यों नहीं कह पा रही है टीएमसी? क्या कहीं ना कहीं वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते हिंदू आस्था पर करो चोट ताकि मिले वोट, इस प्रिंसिपल पर चलते हुए महुआ मित्रा को बचाया जा रहा है?
जिस तरह का ये कृत्य है, मैं एक बात जरूर सबसे कह रहा हूं कि मुझे इतना तो मार्गदर्शन दो कि आखिर हर बार हिंदू धर्म को ही क्यों सॉफ्ट टारगेट हिंदू धर्म को ही क्यों बनाया जाता है, हमारी भावनाओं को क्यों आहत किया जाता है, हमारे देवताओं को ही अपमानित क्यों किया जाता है। अगर है हिम्मत तो किसी दूसरे धर्म का भी तो एक बार बता के दिखाओ। ये मेरे बार बार कहने के बाद भी कोई जवाब नहीं देते हैं ये टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग वाले। उसके पीछे कारण ये है, ये जानते हैं कि हमने ये बात पकड़ ली है और इसलिए हम अब बख्शने वाले नहीं है, चाहे महिला मित्रा जी हो, चाहे मीणा मक्कली जी हो। अगर 24 घंटे में उन्होंने इस चित्र को नहीं हटाया, माफी मांगी, खेद नहीं व्यक्त किया, तो एक और एफआईआर आज हम करेंगे 24 घंटे बीतने के बाद।
तृणमूल कांग्रेस को कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए। अगर जिस तरह से उस बंगाल की धरती पे चाहे गॉडेस दुर्गा हो, माँ काली हो, उनके लिए जिस तरह का उनका विवादित बयान आया है, उससे केवल तृणमूल कांग्रेस अपने को अलग कर ले ये काफी नहीं है, बल्कि वो एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हैं और उन्होंने जिस तरह से गॉडेस कॉली पे, होली पे जिस तरह की बात कही है, उस पे उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, पार्टी से भी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, कानूनी कार्रवाई भी होनी चाहिए। और उन्होंने जिस तरह से तृणमूल कांग्रेस के ऑफिशियल ट्विटर को अनफॉलो कर दिया है, तो इससे एक तरह से वो स्वीकार कर रही हैं कि जो हमने कहा है सही कहा है।
मोइत्रा जी ने जो वक्तव्य दिया, मैं उस वक्तव्य से और मेरी पार्टी उस वक्तव्य से सहमत नहीं है। कोई भी धर्म के ईश्वर की अगर मजाक उड़ाई जाए, उनके लिए अभद्रता का प्रयोग किया जाए, हम उसकी घोर निंदा करते हैं। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। और कल भी मैंने अब यही बात कही, आज फिर कहता हूँ, व्यक्तिगत रूप से और कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रवक्ता होने के नाते मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि कोई भी धर्म के ईश्वर की अगर निंदा होती है, उनके साथ मजाक होता, अभद्रता होती है, कांग्रेस पार्टी उसकी घोर निंदा करती है। और व्यक्तिगत रूप पे अगर देवी माँ के साथ इस तरह की मजाक का कोई प्रयोग कर रहा है, तो हम उसकी घोर निंदा करते हैं, भर्त्सना करते हैं। और धर्म को अगर राजनीति में बार बार प्रयोग में लाके लोग अपना चेहरा चमकाना चाहते हैं, तो उन लोगों को भी हम चेताना चाहते हैं कि ये हिंदुस्तान कभी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा।
And amidst the row over Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra's remarks on Goddess Kali, the Trinamool MP has now sparked another political row. In a new tweet, Moitra has said, and I quote, "I do not want to live in an India where BJP's monolithic, patriarchal, Brahminical view of Hinduism will prevail and the rest of us will tiptoe around religion. I will defend this till I die," unquote. And meanwhile, Toronto-based filmmaker Leena Manimekalai is making the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Amidst the Kali poster row, the filmmaker Leena Manimekalai has sparked another uproar. Filmmaker Manimekalai dropped another photo on Twitter, and in this photo, a man and woman, presumably local actors, dressed up as Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, are shown smoking a cigarette. The photo has so far attracted mixed reactions, with many accusing the filmmaker of seeking publicity amidst the ongoing row over her film. Meanwhile, taking a tough stand amidst the ongoing row over filmmaker Leena Manimekalai, Madhya Pradesh Home Minister Narottam Mishra has informed that he will write separate letters to the centre and Twitter authorities regarding the same. And talking to the media, Minister Mishra said that the Madhya Pradesh government, through a letter, will be requesting the centre to issue a lookout circular or LOC for Leena Manimekalai. Mishra further added that his government will also send a letter to Twitter authorities requesting them to scan content on their platform that may hurt the sentiments of people.
हम मध्य प्रदेश सरकार की ओर से केंद्र को पत्र लिखने जा रहे हैं कि एक LOC जारी करें। वो लुकआउट सर्कुलर होता है ये लीना मणिमेकलाई जी के खिलाफ, क्योंकि अब वो जो कर रही हैं वो जानबूझ के कर रही हैं, ऐसा प्रतीत होता है। तो इन दोष पर तत्काल कार्रवाई हो, इसके लिए हमने केस रजिस्टर तो कर ही दिया था, और केंद्र को भी आज हम LOC के लिए लिख देंगे। दूसरा, आज हम एक पत्र ट्विटर को भी लिख रहे हैं कि जो धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले इस तरह के ट्वीट जो होते हैं, कुछ विकृत मानसिकता के लोग इस तरह के जो ट्वीट लगातार करते हैं, जैसे काली फिल्म की डायरेक्टर लीना मणिमेकलाई जी ने किया है, इस तरह के जो ट्वीट हैं, कभी बीड़ी पीते हुए काली का, कभी शंकर जी का जो जारी कर रहे हैं, तो ऐसे विकृत मानसिकताओं के लिए जो धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले चित्र हैं और ट्विटर को टूल की तरह उपयोग जो कर रहे हैं, इसको वो रोकें अपने स्तर पर और इसकी स्कैनिंग की व्यवस्था करें, जिसकी वजह से स्कैनिंग के बाद से इस तरह की चीजें ना आए जो भावनाओं को आहत करती हो। ऐसा मैं ट्विटर को भी पत्र लिखने जा रहा हूं।
And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you for watching.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place. There was a camp of the Territorial Army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF and also the local people who are carrying out the search and rescue operations.
The Shillong Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि डिमा हासों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है। और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्ताडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर स्पेशल टूरिस्ट आने जाने के लिए भी यहाँ पे रिसेंटली चलाया दिया गया।
You can see the people are trying. The local people are trying to help each other.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में।
Naga political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको दबा के चला गया।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता, स्टूडियो में मैं हूं दुर्मेश,
मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान,
मैं रश्मि भैया शेर, मैं नश्मिता महल।
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में।
Naga political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको दबा के चला गया।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता, स्टूडियो में मैं हूं दुर्मेश,
मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान। Hello and welcome to Afternoon Headlines. I am Ronak and we start the bulletin with the big story from Manipur. Manipur DIG Ningshen Wongam, who arrived in the border town of Moreh, held a security meeting with the CSOs at the inspection bungalow of Moreh Police. The meeting was held in the backdrop of the violent protests which broke out in the border town yesterday. DIG Wongam during the meeting said that the Manipur government is in constant touch with the Ministry of External Affairs, which has already communicated with the embassy at Yangon. The embassy, on its part, had reportedly informed the district administration of Tamu in Myanmar to return the mortal remains. However, there has been no response from the district administration so far. And this was informed exclusively to Northeast Live by Vice President of Tamil Sangam, A. Kamal Nath. An assurance has also been given to bring back the mortal remains of the two Tamil youth soon.
It has been discussed here at this DIG, under the DIG, it was discussed that the government of Manipur is taking level-based through the high level, and the Minister of External Affairs will go and they are discussing from there to solve this problem as early as possible. And they also assure us that the dead body will be handed over to the concerned family. So this was discussed in the meeting.
Notably, it has been 3 days today since two Tamil youth were shot dead in Tamu by a militia group formed by the Myanmarese army when they had apparently crossed over the border. Following this, massive protests broke out in Moreh on Wednesday, with people demanding the handing over of the bodies of the two Tamil youth. Angry protesters had gathered near the border, resorting to arson. Protesters gathered near the border pillar 76 near Sunrise Ground in Moreh to stage a massive demonstration and also resorted to stone pelting and arson. In the wake of the situation, the Tengnopal District Administration has imposed Section 144 in Moreh town, besides issuing an advisory to residents of Moreh and all visitors to the area not to venture into the Myanmar side without proper documents and permits from the concerned authorities. Besides, tight security has also been put in place at the India-Myanmar border to ensure there is no further escalation of the situation. So, viewers, indeed, that is, of course, the big development as far as the Moreh unrest is concerned. As Manipur DIG Ningshen Wongam arrived in the border town of Moreh and held a security meeting with CSOs at Inspection Bungalow of Moreh Police. The meeting was, of course, held in the backdrop of the violent protests which broke out in the border town yesterday. And DIG during the meeting said that the Manipur government is in constant touch with the Ministry of External Affairs, which has already communicated with the embassy at Yangon. The embassy, on its part, had reportedly informed the district administration of Tamu to return the mortal remains of the two deceased Tamil youth. However, there has been no response from the district administration so far. And this was informed exclusively to Northeast Live by the Vice President of Tamil Sangam, A. Kamalnath. An assurance has also been given to bring back the mortal remains of the two Tamil youth soon. And of course, let me remind our viewers at this point, a massive protest broke out in the border town of Moreh yesterday, with angry protesters demanding that the authorities from the Myanmar side hand over the bodies of the deceased at the earliest. However, considering the unrest that is prevailing in Myanmar as well, has still been no confirmation whatsoever as to when exactly the bodies of the two Tamil youth will be handed over back to Indian authorities. And in light of this, one of the deceased youth, in fact, was an auto driver in Moreh, and the auto drivers body, association body of Moreh, also took to the streets yesterday in protest, demanding justice for the victims and also compensation for the families of the two deceased. And in light of the situation prevailing in the border town of Moreh, Section 144 was also clamped in the entire border town yesterday, which of course still remains in force. And from what we've been given to understand from our correspondent from Moreh, the situation, an uneasy calm prevails in Moreh town as of now. And of course, we have to wait and watch as to how long it actually takes before the bodies are handed back over to the Indian side. All right, on to the big story related to the Naga peace talks. A crucial meeting of the core committee on the Naga political issue is currently underway in Nagaland capital, Kohima. The crucial meeting is being attended by all core committee members except for NPF's Kuzoluzo Nenu, who is currently in New Delhi. And this is the first meeting of the core committee headed by Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio after the fresh deadlock in talks following the May 31st resolution adopted by the NSC and IM, an emergency National Assembly, that there can be no solution unless the Government of India agrees to its demand for a separate flag and constitution. And earlier, highly placed sources within the core committee have told Northeast Live that this meeting is extremely crucial as it aims to chalk out the next course of action on how to facilitate the resumption of talks between the NSCNIM and the Government of India. It may be mentioned here that the priority for the Government of India, as well as for the core committee at the moment, is to ensure the resumption of peace talks at the earliest. So yes, viewers, concerted efforts underway to break the fresh deadlock in the Naga peace process. Of course, the fresh deadlock came into being after the May 31st resolution that was adopted by the NSC and IM Emergency National Assembly, which of course it's demanded that if the Government of India, of course, does not heed to their demand for a separate flag and constitution, there can be no solution. And it is to break this very deadlock that this crucial meeting of the core committee of the Naga peace talks is currently underway in Kohima at this point in time. The main agenda for this crucial meeting of the core committee, of course, is to ensure that the talks, that the Naga peace process in particular, is resumed at the earliest. And of course, they are going to chalk out ways and means and also try to work out a roadmap as to how this fresh deadlock in the Naga peace process between the NSCNIM and the Government of India can be broken. And we will be connecting with our correspondent from Kohima, Sarah Konyak, shortly for all the latest details regarding this a very crucial meeting of the core committee on the Naga peace talks. And of course, this meeting assumes a lot of significance in light of the fact that a fresh deadlock has now come into being as far as the peace talks between the NSC and IM and the government of India is concerned. With the NSC and IM now saying that there can be no solution if their demand for a separate flag and constitution is not met. And of course, as per the inputs, all core committee members are present at this very crucial meeting, except for the NPF's Kuzo Luzo Nenu, who is currently in the national capital. All right, I am now joined over the phone line by my colleague Sarah Konyak, joining me from Kohima. In fact, as we can see, Sarah Konyak joining us live from Kohima at this point in time. Sarah, if you can hear me, very crucial meeting of the core committee currently underway in Kohima. The main agenda, the only agenda, of course, is to ensure how to ensure the resumption of talks between the government of India and the NSC and IM at the earliest. What more can you tell us regarding this very crucial meeting, Sarah?
Yes, absolutely, Ronak. Like you have rightly stated, the meeting of the core committee on the Indo-Naga political issue began an hour. It's been almost an hour since the meeting had begun. I'm right now standing outside the Chief Minister's residential, where the meeting is underway currently. Well, today's meeting is being seen as very crucial, as the core committee is having a sitting today after almost a month, following the May 31st resolution adopted by the NSC and IM leaders, where they have made their stand very clear that they will not accept the offer of the government of India on a separate flag and a constitution. What we have been made to understand is that the NSC and IM have stated that the resolution which was adopted on May 31st was on the basis of the framework agreement, and sources have informed us that the NSC and IM have conveyed to a certain section of the civil society organizations their position very clear, that they will not resume talks unless and until the talks are in line as per the framework agreement which was signed on August 3rd, 2015. Now, this is going to be a very crucial time for the Nagas, as it's going to be almost a month since the government of India and the NSA and IM had any communication. There is no communication between the two negotiating parties. And to what people are seeing is that there needs to be an intervention from a third party between the two negotiators, or else talks is likely not to resume anytime soon. As per our sources, Ronald, what we have also learned is that a certain section of the civil society organization have mooted the idea for a third party intervention, like as in like observers, so that there can be a smooth sailing of the peace talks. However, this idea has been conveyed to the NSA and IM leadership, and a closest source to the IM have informed your channel that the NSA and IM leaders will also be having a discussion on the idea of these third-party observers to be a part of the peace talks. Rhonda.
Right. So, Sarah, this does come indeed as a very interesting proposal in order to break the deadlock in the Naga peace talks. So, what are your sources telling you about how the NSC and IM is taking to this proposal? How are they reacting to this fresh proposal in how to break the deadlock, Sarah?
Well, yes, all the stakeholders and both the negotiating parties are working out every way possible to ensure that there is a smooth sailing of the talks. However, the NSA and IM have made their stand very clear on a separate flag and a constitution. Now, in the last 1 month, we have seen a civil society organization making their move forward to try and break the deadlock between the two negotiating parties. It has been an appeal from all the sections of the people to both the negotiating parties to resume talks, so that there can be a logical conclusion to this long pending issue. But first of all, there needs to be a breakthrough on the issue of a separate flag and constitution. Now, the NSA and IM have clearly stated in their recent press statements as well that the ball is now in the court of the government of India, while some civil society organization have also questioned on the sincerity of the government of India in resolving this Naga issue. Now, if we look into it, the the Global Naga Forum has already met the NEDA convener and Assam Chief Minister, seeking for his intervention to convey certain points to the government of India in order for both the parties to come to a logical conclusion. And as well as the Nagaland Gaon Bura Federation had also had a meeting with all the tribal apex bodies just last month in Dimapur, where they have formed a political committee. However, the formation of this committee is yet to be confirmed from the NGBF side, where they have decided to intervene in order to bring both the parties together. And now with the core committee having a sitting today after almost a month, we cannot assure what step next the stakeholders will be taking in order to bring these two parties together. However, what we can say right now is that the core committee and the stakeholders all are trying to come up with a roadmap to give the final push so that the talks can be resumed and that there is a solution to this long pending issue. Ronak.
Absolutely. Sarah Konyak, thank you very much for joining us live from Kohima and bringing us all of those crucial details. All right, coming back to the big story from Manipur now. Manipur DIG Ningshen Wongam, who arrived in the border town of Moreh earlier today, held a crucial security meeting with the CSOs at the inspection bungalow of Moreh Police. The meeting, of course, was held in the backdrop of the violent protests which broke out in the border town yesterday. DIG Wongam during the meeting said that Manipur government is in constant touch with the Ministry of External Affairs, which has already communicated with the embassy at Yangon. And the embassy, on its part, had reportedly informed the district administration of Tamu to return the mortal remains of the two deceased Tamil youth. However, there has been no response from the district administration so far, and this was informed exclusively to Northeast Live by the Tamil Sangam Moreh. All right, to bring us all the latest updates from Ground Zero, I'm being joined now live from Moreh by my colleague Sharat Chandra. Sharat, we have been told that an uneasy calm currently prevails in Moreh town after the violent clashes and protests which broke out last evening. What is the situation like where you are currently at right now, and what more details do you have for us? Sharat, over to you.
Yeah, Ronak, you have rightly mentioned that the uneasy calm have been restored in the border town Moreh area. Otherwise, the border town Moreh since the 5th June afternoon, here we can witness the huge protest after the news of these two youth just being killed inside the Tamu town. This around again around 7 kilometers from the border town Moreh. Tamu is on the part of Myanmar. And on these particular two youths, according to the family member, they have left home at around 10 a.m. On 5th June, and around 12 they got the news of their killing by unknown miscreants from social media only. So we have already interacted with both the family members of this disease, Mohan and the Ayanar, and according to them, they are just waiting for the mortal remains of these two youth so that they can do the last rites. This is the main demand from the family members. Yes, we have gone across the border area also. Now we are just standing at the border town Moreh. This is the market area, main market area, and just behind me, it is again Moreh police station from around 200 meter from here, 200 meter away from here. So you see. Family members, they are waiting eagerly for the mortal remains to be received. As of now, the mortal remains by the Myanmar authority didn't hand over to the border town Moreh authority. So everybody is waiting here, and yes, heavy security presence can be seen here near the border area, and both the disease residence is in the Tamil Sangam Road, and the Tamil Sangam Road is a pocket where maximums are the Tamil residents. They settled down here from the last many years. So all the business establishment shutting down shutting down the shutter, and you can see a very poor vehicular movement here. And yes, we also can see a large number of crowd being gathered at the border disease house because many of the locals are also extending support and showing this solidarity to the victim's family. And you see, we also have the information that yes, is this ironer and this Mohan, though they have been they born and brought up here only in the border town More and running business as auto driver. Otherwise, their forefathers and fathers are right now staying at the Chennai. And in Chennai also, some few protests can be seen demanding the dead body to be handed over to the Indian border town More authority. And with me is also Lucky. Lucky is just doing this news since day one. So he's with us and we'll know more on the Lucky. We also learned that this protest also carried out in the Chennai area where the fathers and forefathers of this both disease are staying in Chennai. How far it is true?
We have got the information that and those Tamils who went back from More are conducting a protest and a rallies at the Chennai Parinarul area and still demanding the dead bodies of the two Tamil youths which have been killed at Tamu area of Myanmar.
Lucky, one more question is, you see, you're here and just doing this news from the day one. We also had the information that the DIG have already arrived here at the border town More, having meeting with the higher-ups police official at the border town More. How far it is true?
Yes, the DIG Range 2 of Manipur Police have arrived at More and have conducted a meeting with the CSO leaders as well as security personnel at the border town More. And the DIG do also asserted to the CSOs that the Manipur government is trying its level best to get the dead bodies of the two youths which are at Tamu. And they have already talked to the Ministry of External Affairs, and the Ministry of External Affairs have also talked with the embassy at Yangon, and Embassy Yangon do also order to the DC, District Administration of the Tamu district of Myanmar.
Okay. You see, Ronak, we, according to family members, they have already filed one missing report to the More police station, and so far they didn't have any kind of response from the this More police station and higher up any higher up police officer or administration. They didn't receive any kind of information, but still they are waiting for the mortal remains of these two youth received by the to be handed over by the Myanmar authority. You see, handing over a body now again is not a easy matter. You see, it's a concerning of another country. That is the reason I think Manipur government have already intimated with the External Affairs Minister, and this is about the two-country talk. After that only this can be resolved and handing over the mortal remains of these two youth to the family members. And we are waiting for that time. Ronak.
Absolutely. And Sharath, for the benefit of our viewers, can we also have a look? Can you ask the camera person to pan the camera and show us a little bit about the kind of, deserted look that is that the More town now bears due to the Section 144 having been clamped in the border town of More since yesterday? Can we have a look, Sharath?
Yeah, Ronak, you have rightly mentioned that already 144 CRPC 144 already clamp in the entire border town More. So I think few vehicular movement can be seen here at the border town More. Otherwise, all the business establishment is remain closed. There's as a kind of protest or is a kind of showing solidarity to the victim's family. And I think. This is the border town More, and again the residents of this two disease is somewhat far from this border town More, and we went there meeting with the family members, but at the residence area of the victim network is poor. That is why we are shifting here at the border town More, at the heart of the border town More, so that we can have a good network. Here we are having a just good network. Otherwise, the network is very poor, and we have already recorded the reaction from the victim's family member, the family members, Ronak. And yes, any important this development, we are ready. We are standby here to cover and to go anywhere. But yet, so far as this latest update is. Meeting is on, led by the DIG Range 2 at the More police station. And this higher up police officers are attending the meeting, and right. They are waiting for the signal from the state government. And the state government is is a very close contact with the External Affairs Minister, because this is concerning of the two countries, that is India and Myanmar. So I think people are hoping, they are having faith to the authority, and they are waiting for the mortal remains of two diseases who gunned down by the unknown miscreant at the Tamu. That is around 7 kilometers from border to More on Myanmar side. This incident happened on 5th, and they are waiting for the mortal remains to be handed over by the Myanmar authority. Ronak.
Absolutely, Sharat Chandra. Thank you very much. And also thank you to Lucky Boy, both our correspondents, giving us all the minute-to-minute live updates from Ground Zero in the border town of More. Of course, extensive coverage, the only channel bringing you this extensive coverage of the unrest and the situation, the tense situation that is prevailing in Manipur's More town. And of course, this is in light of the fact that 2 Tamil youth have lost their lives after having crossed over to the Myanmar side, where apparently they had gone to meet with some friends. Angry protesters had taken to the streets yesterday. Right now, there is a sort of uneasy calm prevailing in the border town. And of course, both our correspondents and multiple teams of Northeast Live will be bringing you all the latest updates, the minute-to-minute updates from this situation at More. And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you for watching.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में।
Naga political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको दबाते चला गया।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता, स्टूडियो में मैं हूं दुर्मेश,
मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान,
मैं रश्मि प्रिया शेर, मैं नश्विता महन।
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place, there was a camp of the Territorial Army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way, and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF, and also the local people who are carrying out the search and rescue operations.
The Shilung Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is the Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि डिमा हासों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है। और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्ताडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर स्पेशल टूरिस्ट आने जाने के लिए भी यहाँ पे रिसेंटली चलाया दिया गया।
You can see the people are trying. The local people are trying to help each other.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है।
नमस्कार, खबर दोपहर में आपका स्वागत है। स्टूडियो में मैं हूं दुर्मनी और शुरुआत करते हैं इस वक्त